I feel like everywhere on the internet, everyone is always trying to sell something. They always have an amazing deal. They always have a discount code. And if you don't use it right now, you are going to miss out. Have you ever had this happen to you in the moment you really want to buy something only to regret it later? I had this happen most recently with a trend going around on TikTok. You might be familiar with it. It was in the color talk world of that social media. I loved coloring as a kid, and I saw when this trend started coming up with coloring books and the markers and the gel pens, it just got me all excited. I wanted to give it a try, and I loved watching them do it on TikTok. It looked fun. Of course, they make everything look fun. And I love the ASMR of the markers and the sound it makes when it touches the paper. So I really wanted to give it a try, and I made a quick decision and purchased the coloring book with the markers, only later to get it to my house. I think I've maybe colored 2 pictures, and now it sits on my shelf, and every time I see it, I am reminded of the money I wasted on this trend. Buying this coloring book and falling into this trend taught me a few things. That one, when I just see something, it's always in the moment and it sparks this excitement, this curiosity, but that it doesn't usually last. And that's whether I'm buying something from social media or somewhere else. It's just this spark of curiosity. I've done it with hair supplies, and I see someone use it and I want to have that. And it seems exciting. It seems like it's going to do amazing things. And so usually what comes with that is it gets exciting, then you get the item or you put it in your cart and even pay for it and haven't got it yet. And then that excitement starts to dwindle. You get the item and maybe it's not living up to the hype, or the quality is not as great as you thought. Whatever it is, it's not as good as we thought it was going to be. And then you end up regretting the purchase without giving a lot of thought to it beforehand. I have created this method. I'm calling it the wait method when it comes to making purchases for me. And how it works is, when there's something that I see that I want and think that I need to have it, I will go ahead and add it to my cart, and then I will let it sit there for 24 hours, 48 hours. Just let it sit. I walk away. I don't look at it again for at least a day. And a couple of things will happen when you do that. First of all, letting it sit there, if it's something that you really want, you're going to not be able to not think about it. And so if it's something you're still thinking about 2 days later, I will go a step further. And that's when I have time then to research the product and not just listen to what I've been told in an ad or wherever. I can now go spend a few minutes, research whatever it is, and see what the reviews are before I pay for it. Because a lot of times that just gives you so much more wisdom in how other people who've already given this a try, what they think about it. The other thing that it does, and this happens more times than not, if I'm being honest, I will put it in my cart. I will come back 2 days later, honestly, probably adding something else to my cart to let it sit there. And I will look at what's already in there and I'll be like, wait, I don't even remember putting this in here. I don't need this anymore. And I can just delete it out of my cart without having to make the purchase, without having to have the regret, buyer's remorse, feeling guilty for buying things that I didn't need or wouldn't use. Letting it sit there for those extra few days really does just give you the opportunity to kind of process and see if it's something you really want. And if it is that something you're still thinking about 2 days later, you go ahead and you make that purchase, but now you've made it a decision to make that purchase, and it's not just a in the moment impulse buy. Now you've given it thought and you've made a educated decision on whether or not to buy this item. Some things that are in my shopping cart right now are beauty supplies. I will see lots of them scrolling through different things, and they're in my cart because I could just purchase them and try them, take them back, but I would rather put them in my cart. And a lot of times it's a beauty product that I will have multiple variations of different brands or whatever it might be. So I can go look and see, okay, here's this one. This one is kind of like this one. They may have some similarities or do the same thing. And so I don't need all of them. Putting it in my cart now just lets it sit there. I can see it all there together and then go read the reviews, especially for things like beauty products, and see what other people are saying about it before I make the purchase. So it's still in my cart so that I can come back and decide if it's something that I want. For example, a shampoo, there's lots of shampoos out there, so I never know which one I want. And so I will just put several different ones and then I will choose between the ones I put in my cart because those are the ones that stuck out to me, instead of also then looking at every option under the sun. I have these few I put in the cart and now I can dwindle it down to the one I think is going to work best. Using this method of waiting really just helps me to be able to make purchases and do it without regret. There are so many things that I have bought that, like the coloring books, sit on my shelf. And if I'm being perfectly honest with you, a lot of it is craft related. I love to buy craft things and forget that I don't have the time needed to do every single craft that I've bought. And so doing it this way, putting it in my cart, setting it aside, and just giving it some time to sit and see if it's something that I really want to buy or it's just something that I saw in the moment and thought that I really wanted and now I don't, has been super helpful for me. In my next video, I am sharing a purchase I did make on purpose and telling you if it was worth it or not. See you in the next one. Bye.